All right, let me take a look.
Ooh, look at that.
Let's go back to the beginning. Let's back this train up. So one of the cool things about Car Stereo Lab is being able to share with you guys and actually hook up and play with cool products. Today's is something I've been wanting to get my hands on for a while. What about you?
Oh, totally.
Now, when we went to Knowledge Fest last year, there was another manufacturer that had this product, and we wanted one. We were like, hey, and they were like, yeah, and then it didn't work out.
Happens.
But this company has come through for us, and they sent us one to play with. So, all right, let's play with it. So let's take a look at what we got. Let's unbox this thing. What could this possibly be? I don't know. Well, whatever it is, we have instructions, and they're in a whole bunch of different languages. So this is called the Bass Pro Hub by JBL. That's a lot of languages. You can, yeah, that's a lot. So what this guy is this is made to go into your spare tire in the trunk. Yeah, I know, right? Cool. I mean, you're not using that space for anything else. So inside, we got this guy right here. There's a woofer inside of it that we can't see. Well, I can fix that. The housing seems to be made out of aluminum or some form of metal. So we have an 11-inch subwoofer that's down firing into the spare tire. It's a 200 watt RMS, 2 ohm driver. The amplifier has a 30 amp fuse on it. The crossover that it has is variable between 50 and 150 hertz at 12 dB, has a bass boost of 0 to 12 dBs at a fixed 50 hertz. Line level input sensitivity is 0.2 to 4 volts. Speaker level input sensitivity is 0.5 to 10 volts. The dimensions of this thing are 14 and 3/16 by 6.5 inches deep. Now the cone looks like it's made out of some composite material that's been treated in like a rubber. You have a surround here and a surround here. The amplifier is located here on the end. You have a protect light, a power light, an input for the bass knob, your low level input, your high level input, and then your power and ground inputs. And then in the middle here is the remote turn on. There's your 30 amp fuse. On the other side, you just have the cool JBL logo. Now let's see what else comes in the box. We got a foam package over here. This is going to be the new screw down, so it'll hold into where your spare tire would be. It has a nut style connector if you have the bolt that comes out of the floor. We have the main power harness here. As you can see, what they did is we have 4 16 gauge that go off into a 10 gauge for both the power and the ground. Your remote turn on is in the middle, so you have a set for high level and also your RCA inputs. Now they've gone ahead and put caps on these so that if you are using your high level input, you can just cap these off so you don't have to worry about them bumping around in your trunk or anything like that. And then your bass knob is this guy here. It's this big control center. You have your master level control, you have your bass boost, and you have your crossover, as well as a phase button. Neat. Now I know what you're thinking, why do I want to get my hands on one of these to play with? Well, why not? I mean, a lot of cars, my wife's included, has one of these style subwoofers in her spare tire. Not everyone has a lot of room for a box, and this is an alternative that, well, hey, if it works, could be really cool.
Yeah, and if it sounds really good,
it's totally worth it.
definitely.
We're gonna go ahead and get this into the back of the lab and take a listen to it. For those of you guys that are new to the show, real quick, the reason why it's called Car Stereo Lab is we've built a lab at the back of the car that allows us to test all kinds of equipment. Subwoofers, amplifiers, DSPs. We have it all set up back here for us to test it. Let me show you real quick. We have the outputs from the radio coming back here and then inputs to go off to the speakers. We have 2 permanent amplifiers mounted here for testing, which is the Audio Control ACM 2.300 and the ACM 1.300. And then over on this side, we have all our power. So for the one we're testing today, we've gone ahead and got the harness all wired in. It's hooked up high level, which is what I feel a lot of people are gonna be doing with this. Let's go ahead and get this in. So looking back here at the tire, I can already see that we may have an issue. If you notice, there's a hump right here. It's really made to be mounted in something that's flat, but we're gonna go ahead and keep going anyways. Now ours is gonna have a screw down type. The rod is connected to the actual nut that holds the tire in, and we have a hole here. We're not gonna use this style, we're gonna need this style. What I was talking about is that there's probably gonna be a problem. As you can see, this panel here, see how flat this is? That means that area, that hump, is going to sit on this, which means this is probably gonna stick up higher than we want it to. So for some applications, this might not work. Yeah, see, just as feared, it's sitting up really high. But that's okay, we're gonna keep going because we wanna hear how this thing sounds. So if you're thinking about doing this, like after watching this video, it's like, oh man, that's cool, I wanna do it. Just make sure that your rim that it's gonna sit in is nice and flat. It doesn't have a hump like that. Now, the other idea would be to take the tire out, but I feel that the way this is designed is that it needs that rim in order to have the sound. It's using that to push the sound up and out of the car. If you take that rim out, it might not sound as good. But we'll try it both ways because why it's called a lab. Now the last thing we need to do is screw it in place. Probably the most important thing you're gonna do, because by screwing it in place, you're allowing it to couple with the car. Otherwise, this thing could bounce around. And if this starts to bounce around, then what that's gonna do is reduce the amount of bass that you have coming, because you're gonna get cancellation. All right, we have it all in place. We can go ahead and drop our, yep, nice and secured. So now the only thing left to do is hop in and hear how this thing sounds. Not gonna lie, I am freaking surprised.
Yeah.
I mean, holy wow.
That's impressive. Yeah.
Yeah, God, that is so impressive. Don't get me wrong, okay? If you want to put a 12 in the back of your car or a 10 in a ported enclosure, not the same thing. But we're talking about a box jammed into a spare tire, just with an amplifier attached to it. That is, you know, it's all self-contained. That league of impressment, not that other thing where you custom built something and like, oh, I can, you know, because that's out of, okay. Anyways, very nice. So now what we want to do is we have the DMRTA from audio control. We have the cool microphone here. We're going to do our SPL test. If you've ever seen one of these before, we put the mic in the same spot every time. It's lined up here with the gear shifter, pushed all the way forward, aimed towards the window. We're going to play a 40 hertz 0 dB track along with some music, and we're going to look and see what it puts out. We have our microphone set to 0 dB. Let's get rocking. We got about, what, 106 point something was max on that. All right, let's go ahead and we'll switch over to music. Wow, so that had a 109.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
Wow. 7 seemed to be where it was at, but it went up to 109 dB. Dang. Very nice, very nice. Now, we still have it in the spare tire. We're gonna go ahead and pull it out of the spare tire and just bolt it into the floor and see if that changes it at all. So that was the 40 hertz test with it out of the spare tire, just screwed into the back. I mean, what do you think of the sound? I mean, does it, I mean, obviously that wasn't sound, but we've been listening to it. We just wanted to get to this.
Right.
Do you think it sounds different?
It sounds different, definitely, because right now it's more tighter.
Yeah.
I can see that it's more tighter.
Yeah, it's, there's
because
something.
in the spare tire, that was kind of, it was tight, but a little bit loose.
Yeah.
Like we say before.
You really gotta make sure it's tight.
In different cars, it's gonna be totally different.
Yeah, maybe it's because it's mounted closer to the floor now, where it was raised up with the, because of the way your rim is.
Yeah.
Now that it's in there, coupled to the floor, yeah, because it's definitely, there's something different about it. Let's go ahead and see what it looks like on music. So we're definitely getting more out of it mounted closer to the floor like that than we were when it was up higher. Definitely want to keep it close to the floor in a wheel well. Because this hit 110, which I know we're splitting hairs, but there was a lot more of it higher towards that number than there were the other way, where it was just barely hitting a 9. So that's cool. So it is definitely louder this way than the other way. I'm not gonna lie, I'm excited about this one. I really wanted to get my hands on one of these because everything about it just seems too hard to believe.
Yeah, yeah. And dude, it's awesome.
It's the bass donut.
Yeah.
We're gonna call it the bass donut. That's what we're gonna call it.
Base donut.
Base donut. So from now on, it's not the spare tire base box, it's the base donut. Because donuts are yummy, they taste good, and they make me happy. That thing sounds good, looks like a donut, and it makes me happy.
Okay.
Why not, right? Hey, it's our show, we can do what we want. So the JBL base donut, I'm giving it 2 thumbs up. My other thumb is holding the camera.
Yeah,
what are you thinking?
Definitely.
You giving it 2 thumbs up?
Yeah.
Yeah. Out of all the things we've tested, this one has probably left us the most like, holy cow, I can't believe how good it sounds.
And you know, like, people always ask, you know, I want like an under-seat subwoofer.
Yeah.
Now you don't have to. Now you can go get one of this.
Oh, yeah.
Put it in the spare tire. You know, boom.
Could you imagine if this was a hatchback? All right, so a couple things to keep in mind. One, needs a 10 gauge.
Yep.
It'll do high level, low level.
Yep.
When you're mounting it in the spare tire, for one, check your measurement, make sure your wheel is big enough for it to fit in. You really need it to have that lower rim, or you need to have the space above it. Make sure that when you put it in there, it is nice and tight. It has to be tight.
Yep.
If it's in there, it moves, man. Trust me, it's shaking the whole back of this car. You need that thing to be in there nice and tight to couple with the car and give you this nice full bass sound.
Correct.
All right, guys, that's it for today. Thanks so much for watching this episode of Car Stereo Lab, JBL Base Donut Edition.
Yeah. If you like this video, please subscribe, share, like. You know where to find us. YouTube, Facebook, and Instagram.
You guys have a wonderful night as always. We'll see you later next time.
Bye.